The night my son was born, the nurse smiled and said, "Congratulations." But my father's face dropped when he saw the baby's eyes. My dad's a geneticist. Has been for 30 years. He's a guy who can tell you your ancestry just by looking at your earlobes. So, when he saw my newborn's heterochromia, one blue eye, one brown, he went completely silent. The delivery room was still buzzing with excitement. Jake was crying happy tears, holding our son for the first time. Mom was already posting blurry photos to Facebook with captions like, "Our beautiful grandson." But Dad just stood there staring at the baby like he'd seen a ghost. "Jake, come here," Dad whispered. His voice barely audible over the medical equipment beeping around us. Look at his left eye closely. Jake shifted the baby toward the overhead light, confused. "It's brown." "So what? Heterochromia isn't that rare, right?" "That's not just brown," Dad said, and I could hear his voice starting to shake. "That's sectoral heterochromia, with a very specific golden ring pattern around the pupil. The brown fades to amber in exactly 3 distinct segments like a sunset." My stomach started dropping. Dad doesn't get excited about genetics unless something's really, really wrong. "Dad, what are you saying?" He fumbled with his phone, hands trembling as he scrolled through old photos stored in his cloud. "Here, look at this picture." The photo showed my deceased brother Danny at 3 months old, taken right here in the same hospital. Same exact eye pattern, same golden ring, same brown sectoring that faded to amber, same 3 distinct segments radiating from the pupil like spokes on a wheel. "That's impossible," Jake said, looking back and forth between the photo and our son. "Danny's been dead for 5 years. Car accident, remember?" Dad was staring at me now, and I could see the wheels turning in his scientist brain. Before Danny died in that accident, he was planning to start a family with Sarah when he got back from deployment. He donated sperm to the fertility clinic as backup insurance, just in case anything happened to him overseas. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. After 3 years of failed attempts to get pregnant naturally, Jake and I had finally used donor sperm for IVF 6 months ago. Anonymous donor, they told us. Clean medical history. Similar physical characteristics to Jake. College educated. The clinic told her family that Danny's samples were destroyed after 2 years. Dad continued, his voice getting stronger with each word. "It's standard protocol. They sent us a letter confirming destruction." I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and dialed Dr. Martinez from the fertility clinic. She'd been our doctor through the whole brutal IVF process. If anyone would know what happened, it would be her. She answered on the first ring. "Sarah, is everything okay? How did the delivery go?" "Drive, Martinez. I need to ask you something urgent about the donor sperm we used. Sample number 47. Can you tell me anything specific about the donor's medical history?" There was a long pause, too long. I could hear papers shuffling in the background. "Sarah, why are you asking about this now? You're holding your healthy baby, right? Please just check the file. Does the donor have heterochromia? Specifically, sectal heterochromia with golden ring segmentation." Another pause. I could hear her typing on her computer, and the clicking seemed to go on forever. "Sarah, I think you need to come in tomorrow morning. There's something we need to discuss in person." "No, tell me now." My father's a geneticist, and he's saying my son has the exact same rare eye pattern as my deceased brother. My brother who donated sperm to your clinic 5 years ago before he died. The silence stretched on forever. Jake was looking at me with growing alarm. Dad was taking more photos of the baby's eyes with his phone, comparing them side by side to Dai's photo. Finally, Drive. Martinez spoke and her voice was barely a whisper. "Mrs. Chen, I need to tell you something. There was a serious error in our system 5 years ago. Your brother's samples weren't actually destroyed like we reported to your family. Due to a clerical mistake in our database, they remained in our donor catalog under an anonymous designation. The room started spinning. "Are you telling me sample for A7 belongs to Daniel Chen, your brother?" "I'm so sorry."